A mighty battle has begun. Chapter 15 has revealed everything. Shinki, as a son of Kazekage Gaara who has become a tree, has now determined who his target is and who he will devour. And it is none other than his father, Kazekage Gaara. I admit that before the reveal of Shinki, who has become Shinju, we have guessed who will be his target and who he will devour. And the person we chose was Boruto or Kawaki. Maybe some will choose Boruto because as a rival and also the son of a Kazekage, of course the most reasonable target is Boruto. Besides that, if Gaara will be the target, it sounds less relevant. And the reason for the irrelevance is because as a different generation. The point is, to develop some Boruto characters, of course it's a good opportunity if some of the ninjas to be targeted are of course from the Boruto era, not from the Naruto era. But in essence, all those theories have been broken and have been revealed in Chapter 15 if Gaara is the target. And honestly, this is beyond our expectations. But if we're talking about Ryu devouring Gaara, I'm very worried about this situation. Because after all, Gaara is currently sealed by Shinki's Fuinjutsu. No one can remove the protector from the seal, and only Shinki can remove it. Even though Ryu has declared that he will remove Gaara from the seal and devour him, the next chapter will make us have a new scenario where we might see Kazekage Gaara's rescue mission soon, right? And as the strongest Kazekage in the Sunagakure village, it is highly unlikely that the Gaara sealed in Orochimaru's headquarters will be left alone. Some of the Konoha and Sunagakure villages will definitely in the next chapter carry out surveillance and guard at that place. Although Shikamaru and Kankuro's communication did not conclude and decide on direct assistance, but I am very sure that in Chapter 16 there will be some shinobi who will be sent to that place to temporarily guard the Gaara sealed in that place. But if we were allowed to guess and theorize about who would be sent to protect Gaara, who do you think it would be? It might make sense if the answer was Mitsuki. But before determining that that person is Mitsuki, actually with the current condition and situation of Konoha, some of Konoha's shinobi who are quite powerful are now a big concern to be guarded by Konoha village itself. For example, Sarada. She is currently being targeted by Hidari, right? And of course, this will even be a big problem if Sarada has to be assigned outside the village. Meanwhile, those inside the village are still quite dangerous because with their claw mark abilities, they would easily get in and out of the place. So it seems that Sarada is the wrong person. And besides Sarada, does Himawari have the opportunity to be given such a task? It seems that with the conditions and situation of Himawari, who is currently being targeted by Jura, it would be impossible if she had to be given such a job outside the village. Moreover, if Shikamaru chose Konohamaru, besides he was also targeted by Matsuri, Konohamaru also seemed to be very troublesome and useless if he had to be given such a task. And in conclusion, they would be well guarded by Konoha and would not be allowed to leave the village. Then surely you will assume that the right person is Kawaki, right? But it seems that Kawaki should not care about other villages, because his main focus at this time only to protect Konoha village. Especially after he knew that Himawari would become a Shinju target, then Kawaki would certainly refuse and refute any orders from Shikamaru if he had to protect other villages. Then he will definitely focus more on being in the village at this time. So it is only Mitsuki who has the most potential to be sent to Sunagakure along with the Ino Shikacho team. If this is proven, then we will see a rematch between Mitsuki against Shinki. And that means Kishimoto and Mikio will resolve the hanging battle between Mitsuki and Shinki. So the main topic in this video, besides who is the person who will help Sunagakure, then who will win the battle this time if Mitsuki fights Ryu. And as we know, Shinki is one of the characters who has experienced fighting against Otsutsuki, right? Indeed, Urashiki's strength is sometimes not so clear or not so consistent. Sometimes he looks very strong, sometimes he looks very weak. Even so, thanks to Urashiki, we can judge how strong Shinki's character really is. If you look at the battle between Shinki and Urashiki, Shinki's iron sand is the only force that Urashiki's chakra-pulling fishing hook cannot penetrate. In fact, we often see Urashiki being able to pass through the defenses of several other great ninjas with ease. The power of sand mastered by Shinki can be called iron sand. This iron sand he manipulates by using the magnetic element. Of course, the magnetic element is a Kekkei Genkai from the combination of wind and earth elements. During the Chunin exam, We also learned that Shinki has lightning elemental abilities, which he sometimes uses to strengthen his Iron Sand attacks. Even so, if there is someone who masters the elemental ability of lightning that is much stronger than Shinki, then his Iron Sand defense can be penetrated easily, as Boruto and Mitsuki once did during the Chunin exam. Then we also know that Shinki has an ability where he can mark his opponent using Iron Sand, and that mark will make his other Iron Sand target wherever his opponent goes. He also has the ability to turn his Iron Sand into eyes that can see the conditions of a battle like a CCTV. It even seems like Shinki has a lot of jutsu and great abilities, and perhaps one of Shinki's great abilities is puppet control, capable of sealing an object. And in conclusion, Shinki already has a lot of jutsu that was released before he became Shinju. And so far, the newly evolved Shinju have only been shown to be able to use 2 of the many abilities possessed by the chakra they utilize. So we don't know if there is a limit to the jutsu they use when fighting later, or if all jutsu will be at their disposal as mastered by their manifested bodies. And besides Shinki, we will now talk about Mitsuki's true strength. And to be honest, many fans are quite disappointed with the battle between Mitsuki and Boruto in Chapter 7. The reason is because there are not many new powers shown from Mitsuki's Sage Mode. But behind it all, I still believe Mitsuki did not actually unleash the potential of his strength and abilities just to fight Boruto. Because, after all, the response and reaction to the very angry Mitsuki did not really show that Boruto was his enemy. And even in the end, Mitsuki realized that he was actually the sun. So in conclusion, Mitsuki's potential abilities have not been revealed at this time. But when he fights Ryu, maybe that's the right time to prove the true potential of strength. But from some of the techniques and abilities possessed by Mitsuki, does he have the possibility and opportunity to win against Ryu? I think for now, it will be difficult to beat Ryu. Mitsuki has no chance of winning from Ryu, even if he uses all his abilities or uses the power of Sage Mode, which is more perfect than before. And once again, the reason why we can conclude that Mitsuki can't win against Ryu because Shinju is too overpowered, right? So far, Shinju has a level of ability that can be said to be almost equivalent to Boruto in terms of speed and strength. The attack speed of the Shinju is able to rival Boruto's movement speed, and that was revealed during Mamushi's fight against Boruto. Boruto always uses Hiraishin to avoid Mamushi's fast attacks. Imagine if Mitsuki was in Boruto's position, and it is certain that Mitsuki will definitely not be able to dodge like Boruto. And one of the ways that Mitsuki must choose is to survive. He should be able to rely on the durability of his Sage Mode snakes. But are his snakes able to withstand every attack from Shinju? Well, this cannot be proven until now. But seeing how Boruto was able to cut Mitsuki's snakes by giving his sword a lightning elemental chakra, then Mitsuki's snakes should be weak against attacks originating from the lightning element. Incidentally, Shinki has a power that can utilize the lightning element. So if Ryu fights against Mitsuki, he has the potential to destroy Mitsuki's Sage Mode snake defense. After all, a character like Mitsuki has to experience defeat first before he can really become much stronger. Remember, Boruto is a much stronger character than Mitsuki. Mitsuki is currently not at the same level as Boruto, so it's only natural that Boruto can still beat Hidari in the 12th chapter. What do you think? Is it in his first fight against Ryu that Mitsuki can win? But if the fight is Boruto coming to help him, it is possible that Mitsuki will win. After all, Boruto and Kashin Koji's hideout was near Sunagakure village. So Boruto should have seen a future where Mitsuki might be defeated by Ryu, and Boruto will try to change that fate. And besides that, with Boruto coming to help Mitsuki, this will further make Mitsuki believe that Boruto is his son, right? So, what do you think? Oh yeah, I think this is all we can predict for Mitsuki and Ryu's battle theory. If you guys have other opinions or facts, I would appreciate it. Peace and love. I'm Nim, see you Data Bio.